quickly, while you have a minute and I have two, let me share with you the sumptuous pages I got to rove my eyes over this prior month. Firstly, The 100 Nights of Hero by Isabel Greenberg. This is a book I got given for Christmas after it was originally recommended to me by Sana from Books and Quills, and she recommended it with such love and fervour that it stuck in my brain, niggling away at me, reminding me constantly that it needed to be read. Finally I snapped, and it was requested, sought, bought, wrapped, revealed, revelled in, and read. And guys, it was good. It was really, really good. It's a queer feminist riff on 1001 Nights with art along the lines of The Trouble with Women or Hark a Vagrant. Beautiful world building, beautiful characters, art you want to squash into people's faces saying, this is how it is. It's just so good, guys. Then we have First Class Murder by Robin Stevens. This is the third book in the Murder Most Unladylike series. I was hoping to reread the whole series before the new book is published next month, but alas, I am a slow. The way I describe these books to would-be readers is, do you love Enid Blyton and or Agatha Christie? Do you want them to be more queer and less white while retaining the constant guessing of whodunits and breaks for tea and cream cakes? Well, these are the books for you. First Class Murder is a murder on a train. You might have heard of it, a little locomotive called the Orient Express. As far as my reading has led me to believe, very few passengers managed to exit it alive. Then we go to Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. My copy is missing its dust jacket because I got it cheap from a charity shop. Does, however, contain a page of the Dr. 11 comics. When I tweeted that I would be reading this book this month, it, among all the tomes, elicited the most uproarious responses. So many people jubilantly messaged me, bubbling with vicarious excitement for the reading that was imminently upon me. And well, it was okay. Maybe this book was too overhyped for me because it was good, but the professment of best book ever has fallen somewhat short. Station 11 starts with the end of the world, a flu that wipes out over 99% of the population. 20 years after that end of the world, we follow the symphony, travelling musicians and actors who perform Bach and Shakespeare amid the ruins. This book definitely had some brilliant lines. Survival is insufficient, daubed on a wagon side. But I kind of found the opening premise and the first 100 pages-ish to be much more engaging than the latter thirds. It posed some interesting what-ifs with beautiful displays of humanity across it, but I think it somewhat unsuredly meandered to its end. Now we're on to Rat Queens, Volume 4. Rat Queens is a graphic novel following a band of female adventurers, your typical D&D party, as they solve quests, slay monsters, get paid bags of gold, drink their winnings, and then bed saucy menfolk and maidens. Now I still really like these graphic novels, but I do think the plots got somewhat thin over the last two volumes. The artwork is still beautiful though, and it is still refreshing to see a group of women with differing sexualities, differing body types, differing ambitions, supporting each other and ultimately saving the day. The World of Post Secret by Frank Warren. I was very lucky to find this book at the free little take a book, leave a book library that exists at my local train station. I have found so many good books there, and I always scurry back the next day with a bag of much thumbed paperbacks to try and replace the gem I've just stolen away. So I used to love Sunday Secrets, and although this book was originally published at the end of 2014, reading it brought me right back to how it used to feel poring through other people's secrets, reading all the things that people couldn't or felt they shouldn't say, and then finding a secret written out before you that you could have written, but someone else has. Alice in the Country of Hearts by Quinn Rose and Somei Hoshino. I used to really love manga. I spent a good part of my teens and 20s reading manga and still list Fruits Basket, Dragon Knights, Kodacha, and basically everything by Clamp among my favourite books ever. But it's been a while now since I've been able to find anything that's been able to hold my interests series, let alone rekindle that adoration I used to have for it. Alice in the Kingdom of Hearts was no exception. Finishing this book was an actual struggle. It's a loose Alice in Wonderland retelling, as you may have gleaned from the title, but although it's got decent-ish art, it's insta-love, it's problematic relationships, it's nonsense where I just don't care about it anymore. I'm definitely not continuing with this series. If anyone can recommend me some good new manga series in the comments below, I'd be really interested to hear what you've got. Finally, my last book I read this month, The Crossroads Between Should and Must by L. Luna. This is literally an artfully written book. It encourages you to define the difference between the things you have to do in order to live and the things you really want to do with your life. And it tries to help you find the space and the energy and the courage to do those musts. Ultimately, I did find it good, I did find it helpful. It was a bit baggy in areas, a bit insubstantive. I did actually put it down for almost all of a year halfway through and forgot about it and just picked it back up again recently. It does make you answer that question of what are the things in your life that are most important to you? And why aren't you doing them right now? I come away from every book like this convinced that I'm gonna go away and finish a novel. I hold on to that conviction for at least a week. So there you have it, everything I read in January. Let me know what you read, especially if it's something you would recommend I get onto as well. Other than that, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. The videos I most enjoy creating are those heavily scripted ones. Those laden paragraphs of parlays and puns which I pour out before you in some way or another.